Hey, Pisho. This is week 7 of the work-based learning program, and we are, oh no, I'm mistaken. This is week 8, week 7, week 7. We're talking about business planning, intro to models and how to do research. Today, we're going to talk about the business model canvas. Tomorrow, we'll compare that to business plans, and then we'll talk about the importance of research, how to approach it. Yeah, I guess we'll just kind of jump right into it. We're kind of smushing 2 days into one today. So yeah, just start. Okay, so the intention for this week, supports you all understanding the business model canvas, business plans, and then starting to understand how projections and research works. I'm going to be pulling up first this with the Youth Hub Fellowship binder to intro the business model canvas and yeah, tell you all what each section means and stuff. Okay, so you can see on the screen now that this box within boxes is what they call the business model canvas. And this is created to be similar to a business plan, touching many of the same things, but being a lot more condensed, nimble, easier to adjust and move. So yeah, even if you're feeling like you need a business plan for your business, I would suggest that you start with the business model canvas to get everything laid out first, and then moving forward. Before I go into the questions, I'll just say that how people normally approach these things is starting in the middle first with the value propositions, and then going over to the right with the customer segments, relationships, and then working through the rest of the business model canvas. But yeah, these 9 sections are essentially going to map out, the high level important stuff that you need to have down for your cooperative business. And so we'll just read through these questions that it's prompting you all to think about when you're going through a business model canvas. And if there's any questions or comments, you're always welcome to unmute and bring that into the talk. So the value proposition, this one in the middle, that is where we're putting what kind of value we're providing to our customers, what would keep them coming back. We're noting the clear impact that our value proposition has with our products or services. In addition to why would someone or who would pay for those value propositions. And then you're also going to be noting down how you measure, whether your value proposition is working or not. I'm going to be jumping back between 2 different explanations of the business model canvas. This one is from the Seed Commons, which is a cooperative network of revolving loan funds. And so if you all choose to request investment support from Repaired Nations, you're going to have to do one of these business model canvases to note down what your business is doing. We're going to submit that to what's called the Sustainability Committee. And then they would let us know if it's time for your investment or if they need some more information before they're ready to give it up. And so, yeah, they also have this explainer about what the business model canvas is. And it's talking about how for the value proposition, you're wanting to put down what makes the co-op's products or services special or different in the eyes of a potential customer. And so that's a much neater, that's a much neater explanation of what the value proposition is, as opposed to what the Youth Impact Hub is saying. They're both getting towards the same things, but this one has some more detailed questions. And so as you can see, The value proposition is done first, the way the Seed Commons recommends. And then we're going into customer segments, the channels, relationships, key activities, key resources, partners, cost structures, and revenue streams. So that's the way they suggest that we complete this business model canvas. And when you're doing these, like we have a template for you. It'll also have these questions inside of the boxes already, asking you like, what's the value that your business delivers to the customers? Which one of the business's customers' problems are we solving? What bundles of products or services are we offering to each customer segment? And which customer needs are the biggest, which customer needs is the business satisfying? So yes, it's very important for every business to have a good understanding of the needs that their product or service is filling for their customers. Because ultimately, if the customers you're trying to get don't have a need, they're probably not going to buy what you're offering. So you definitely want to, understand the customer need, understand the motivations for why they're seeking to buy similar products or services. And you're also going to want to have a good understanding of the value that your product or services are offering, the values that they're offering, and how that corresponds to the customer needs. The customer segment section is essentially who are the customer, right? So you're going to be asking, they have some examples here related to a fictional cleaning product. So for the value proposition, they talked about an eco-friendly and green product that's not hazardous to the health of its users. Customer segments, it looks like they have two laid out. Cleaning cooperatives who clean for middle income individuals who would be willing to purchase a green cleaning product at a competitive price. As well as the second, health conscious middle income earning individuals who shop at specialty supermarkets. When we look at the Youth Impact Hub questions to answer, when you're trying to figure out what to put here, it's talking about, who are we creating the value for? What kind of value are we creating for them? It's asking if we have commercial customers, why will they continue to be our customers? And then who are the impact customers, the ones that are maybe ordering the most or putting out the most marketing for you or whatever. How much are they willing to pay? How important is the connection between our products and our impact? So there's a lot of questions that you can go through when moving between each of these explanations of the business model canvas. For the channels, you're going to be asking, how are they going to hear about you and know what you're offering, including when and where it's offered? Switching over to the Seed Commons explanation, same thing, how are customers reached? And they have, looks like 5 different options or 5 different additions in here. They're going to be using online targeted ads, print ads, tapping into their cooperative network, presenting at meetings, and doing phone calls. That's how folks are going to learn about this eco-friendly green product. It might be different for a record label or for an event company or for a grocery store. But understanding how you're going to be reaching out to folks is very, very important. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why there's always ads everywhere, because businesses are trying to stay at the top of mind for their customers, make sure they come back. So when we've talked about the value proposition, customer segments and channels, we're going to then go into customer relationships and talking about, how do these 3 things that we currently or previously talked about interact with the customers, the channels, how do all of those things interact. And so simply at the Madeline thing is saying, how are existing customer relationships maintained? Jumping over to the Youth Impact Hub, they have a lot more questions, asking like, what kind of relationships do customers want? What happens if they fall in love with our impact? What do we need to be mindful of to ensure we keep our customers? What do they expect when they purchase from us, especially when they're going for impact? And so some of the examples that are here, loyal programs, offering discounts to repeat customers, for cleaning cooperatives, being very direct and having in-person contact, and then in-person meetings for food co-ops. Any questions about what we've talked about so far? We've gone through like 4 of these boxes to the right: value propositions, customer segments, relationships, and channels. Anything you'd like to share from experience, Todd?
Well, I would just ask a question, be a little bit of stirring up the energy. No one has anything that comes to mind. So what's the benefit of this, Brother Greg? Like, it seems like it's a lot of prying into my business. Like, why is it beneficial for me to sit down and have these answers? I mean, they're asking some real personal questions about my business.
Whenever you're inviting another person or entity into collaboration, partnership, what have you, with your business, they're going to want to know these kinds of questions. Or at least like the folks that have experience with this stuff are going to want to know these kinds of questions. And these are questions that you're going to have to answer, whether or not you plan for it here, or you just end up doing it on the fly, down the road. Yeah, I mean, if y'all can think of, or let's use an example and like try and put ourselves in the shoes of someone who is being requested to invest in a product. Like, let's say, we're a group of investors now. We've all got, I don't know, 5 million at minimum to our name, and we're excited to invest in our community. Someone comes into our meeting and says that they have this really awesome product, and it's going to kill the game. We're going to want to know some questions, or we're going to want to know some things, ask some questions to make sure that that they've done their research, they know what they're talking about, and we're not putting our money into something that is unplanned, unprepared, overambitious, without understanding how to like connect the dots down the line. And so, yeah, I mean, whether you're going for investment and like trying to get some equity investors, or trying to get a loan, whether you're trying to get like some grant money from the government or from a foundation, and even if you're trying to like bring someone into the company to help you build out the company, there's going to be questions or things that have to be known and understood, so that folks get the vibe, understand that it's going to be successful, and that you understand, like the person doing it understands, like, what are the gaps, what are, the things you got to account for to make sure that we're successful. Maybe like 10, 15 years ago, business plans were the thing that like folks said you needed to show that you knew what you were doing. And that was, business plans are like 25 or more pages and it's just a lot of stuff, right? And so thanks to the folks that developed this, it's really only, a 9-box spreadsheet that you have to fill out to prove that you know what's going on with your business, rather than 25 pages. And once you have this stuff down, then if a partner is coming in and saying like, hey, like, you know, this product is awesome, how do we interact with the customers? You can say, well, we want our customer relationships to be X, Y, or Z. Or if you're approached by an investor and they're asking like, oh, this is really awesome, but how are you going to get this to the customers? It seems like, you know, you can be like, oh, well, our channels are X, Y, and Z. And we know that with our value proposition, we're going to be able to reach the customer segments of blank, blank, blank. Yeah, that's my long-winded answer.
Yeah, that's excellent. So basically, whether you want to kind of get somebody to join your business, or if you really want to get some capital investment, right? These are some questions that you can already have on hand that are real pivotal, because if you really look at it, and I was watching this video last night that kind of touched on it. That's why I was able to recognize it. One side of the document represents money going out, things that you have to spend on, things that are necessary for your business to run. Then the other side is how money is going to come in, how you're reaching out to your customers, what's the focus of your customers, and then how are you exchanging, how is the transaction from customer to your profits is occurring. So we've all sat with this, me and Brother Greg, a few times, different organizations, different businesses, and it's always the same thing. Yes, it's time consuming, but trust, when you get this document done, this is kind of like your invest in me free card. Like, you can take this anywhere and be able to break down specifically to investors or people funders or people that you want to join your organization or your group or your business, about what it is that your business does to receive capital and what your business needs to sustain itself. And these are two valuable answers that you can have that can really navigate any type of financial hurdles you occur when you're trying to, raise capital or get more people to help you. So, just spend some time with it. And also, me and Brother Greg and I are here to help and walk y'all through this, man. But please don't try to rush through it and don't feel intimidated. All right. If you have to, spend your time with one section at a time and just walk your way through. Reach out if you need some help.
Ashe, thank you. I also want to say, like, as y'all start trying to figure out how to raise capital for your businesses, you'll see that there are a lot of loan products out there that, like, are like 10% or more in terms of interest. You got to put down a personal guarantee. It's a lot, right? And look into the Seed Commons, seedcommons.org. It's a model of non-extractive lending with no personal guarantees, payback tied to success of the business. And this is like one of the key things you need to get that investment through Repair Nations. So really wanting for y'all to understand this, dive into it, especially if you see that your business, your cooperative is going to need investment down the line, and you want to consider the Commons non-extractive route. Okay, if you want help with writing that up, hit me or Ted up. Okay, so let's get into the key activities. So as Ted said, it does, break down into that, like, the right side is about how money's coming in, left side about how money is coming out, going out. And so, yeah, we're getting into that left side now. And key activities, simply what activities are happening within the co-op. For this, like, eco-friendly example, there's purchasing, raw materials, production, delivery, brand creation, relationship management, testing, marketing. If you're looking at the Youth Impact Hub questions, they're going in a different order. So we're at key activities. Yeah, so for key activities, it's asking, what do we have to undertake to deliver our value propositions? What activities do we need to deliver our impact value proposition? Are there any overlaps between sets of activities? Are there complementary activities, etc.? When looking at key resources, you're asking yourself simply what financial, tangible, or intangible assets are needed. And so here in this example, they're talking about the final product, startup loan, production materials, capital to cover operating costs. And so that is key resources right here, just underneath of key activities. Looking on the Youth Impact Hub questions, it's asking what physical, intellectual, human, financial resources are needed for your operations. And what of those things do you need to get your impact objectives? Are all of these resources located within your cooperative, or are some of them things that you need to get through partnerships? For sure. Going over to key partners, we're seeing that simply the question is, who are the non-consumer partners? Here they've mentioned Seed Commons, a chemist, marketing agency, and raw materials suppliers. If we're going over to the Youth Impact Hub questions, they're saying, what partnerships are critical to help us achieve commercial objectives? What partnerships help us deliver, strengthen, scale our impacts? The motivations that influence the partnerships, or how do we demonstrate the value of our partnerships to ourselves and others? All questions you can consider when filling out that partnership section. And now we've gone through 5, 6, and 7 key activities, resources, and partners, and looking at cost structure now before we go over to revenue streams. And so simply for cost structure, you're gonna ask, what are the fixed costs, variable costs, and investment costs? Variable costs, those are things that change as the quality of the goods or services changes. So cleaning formula, empty bottles, and trigger sprays are things that for this eco-cleaning business or eco-cleaning product company are all things that are gonna change whether the product is selling really hot or not selling that hot at all. Fixed costs are things that are not dependent upon how the level of goods are going out. So things like rent, insurance, marketing, labor, certain kinds of labor. And then investment costs, those are that's capital needed to get the initial additional or replacement equipment. So here they're talking about cleaning formula mixing machines, another like an asset that they're gonna need down the line. Looking at the Youth Impact Hub questions, pretty much the same thing. So I'm not gonna belabor that. And then for revenue streams, you're looking at which services or products will the cooperative offer and how will clients pay for them. And so here in this example, they're talking about 16, 32 ounce or 1 gallon cleaning products. And all of those are bought through a point of sale system that can do cash, credit, and debit. And then over here at the Youth Impact Hub, the questions that they're offering for you to consider. Can we separate the revenues that are generated through commercial activities of the business? Have we examined similar commercial business models to explore potential revenue streams? All things you can consider. And so that is a very quick intro to the business model canvas. Tomorrow we'll talk about some of the differences between this business model canvas and like a traditional business plan. And we'll also talk about the similarities. So looking forward to doing that. Appreciate you for putting stuff in the chat. If there's any other questions, yeah, welcome to bringing those in now, if y'all got anything or comments.
Thank you. Good morning. Most of my questions were answered through listening to what you were explaining. A question popped up, but it was answered right away, so that was awesome.
Okay, bless. Thank you. So co-op dev folks, I want for y'all to be yeah, definitely getting used to this, like reading through the explainers again, or starting one of these business model canvases on your own. For the rest of everyone, there's no homework. So continue showing up. You're welcome to read through if you'd like. But that's the end of the day. We'll see you all tomorrow. And appreciate y'all for being engaged and active.
Let's love y'all.